So today was spent with WP down at Sellingham X. Gareth Edmonds come down, he's the face of WP UK at the moment. Gareth's got a really good background, and he's worked with some top boys. So he's come down here and and worked with us today, and basically so we can feel the benefits of the product that that's out there. And I've got to say it is a hell of a product.
The idea of today's test was to take a stock bike with OEM suspension in, get a base feeling and a base setup, and then transfer over to the WP Pro component range. We've had a few variations of suspension that we've been trying today.
The process of the day played out like, ride the bike in standard form, adjust that, get comfortable with that on the track conditions that we had. KTM come with air forks as standard. I like the air forks, I'm a fan of the air forks, so I don't really see too much of an issue with air forks. But basically it just comes down to adjustment, and that's what I feel. And I feel that you get quite a lot of benefits from the air forks. We changed the clickers, we changed the air pressure, we set the sag, we got the bike dialed. The next stage after that was to replace the stock suspension with cone valve spring front forks and the Trax rear shock.
Okay, if we take a look at what the cone valve actually is, the cone valve sits on the compression side of the mid-speed valve, which sits in the center part of the fork leg. This part sits basically there inside of the fork. A conventional fork has a shim stack on both sides, on rebound and compression. So basically, rather than the shim stack, you can tailor the fork by using different angled cones, different rate springs and different preloads. And from this you can tailor the fork anything from extreme enduro through to national motocross or even supercross. It's really adaptable. The base valve, which sits at the top part of the fork leg, is the same as a conventional fork. So any adjustments that you make to the mid-speed, you have to pressure balance the cartridge. And for this, we have a variety of different springs and obviously an adjustable shim stack like a conventional fork. So today's test has been similar how a general customer can work with one of our authorised centres. Dave has sent me through his weight, so we've been able to spring the suspension set up ready for him. So literally all we've done is bolt the suspension into the bike, set the sag, away we've gone.
One of the things that really impressed me today was basically just sent over my weight to Gareth, and Gareth basically springed the WP cone valve front forks and the Trax rear shock straight away from my weight. After spending quite a bit of time setting up the stock suspension to my liking and thinking, yeah, I'm happy with that, basically to bolt this product in, not touch a clicker, and be happy right off the bat, just to feel them benefits instantly without having to come in and get the screwdriver on it and make a few clicks here or there. It was basically just an upgrade. Instantly could feel fast around the track, and when I say faster, I mean attacking turns, coming out the ruts, coming into ruts, attacking the jumps, the landing off the jumps, just over jumping stuff if I wanted to. Coming in and leaving my braking later because my braking was totally different. And my acceleration as well was a lot earlier as well because I had more trust in the bike. The bike didn't break away as easy, it stayed planted and it stayed firm. And to feel that straight away with the first product change, thumbs up. Then what we did was we changed the rear shock, we changed the piston to a bladder system.
So the other product we've been trying today is the Trax shock. The Trax design is unique to WP. Basically what it is it allows a bleed on the rebound side of the damping when the wheel's off the ground. When the wheel's not in contact with the ground, the clevis part of the shock at the bottom that mounts onto the linkage drops down. Internally in the shock there's a little needle, and this allows a little bit of bleed on the rebound damping. As soon as the wheel comes back in contact, that circuit is closed and rebound damping is resumed as normal. The Trax shock comes standard with a separation piston for the nitrogen chamber, but we've also been trying today a bladder kit available from WP, which is a product we offer for our OEM product as well as the Trax range.
So I was quite keen to see what had happened here with the bladder system. As soon as that change was there, I went out on track, got settled in. Same race sag, same front forks, same clickers in the rear shock, which is obviously the track rear shock, except for it's got a bladder system in it now instead of a piston. When we was riding around the track, there was another feel again. So the feel that I was getting was basically the top part of the stroke felt a lot plusher. The full stroke in itself felt plush, but but it just felt like it was just a little bit more spongy, a little bit more cushiony. What that allowed me to do, that allowed me just to be a little bit more aggressive on the throttle. I could come in, it felt like the transition between the rear brake and the throttle, you know, was a lot smoother. On the hard and slick ground, that just made that so much easier. My life was so much easier to ride around on the track. Also, when I come out of the turns, you know, those little bumps, it just seemed to track over them and to dial it in. It just seemed a lot better. You know, the piston was good, and that track, there's nothing wrong with that shock whatsoever. But for me, on this type of track today, I really felt the benefits of the Bladder system. You know, just that cushion feeling. After that, we changed the cone valve spring forks to the cone valve air forks. As soon as these were in the bike, I went out on the bike and I sat on the bike, give the bike the, you know, the standard push down as you do, and front brake in, and give it a little, you know, a little tug at the bars and see what it was like. And you know, I could tell that the forks were just a little bit firmer and a little bit stiff in the top part of the stroke. There was nothing wrong with it, just had a different feel. I didn't have that feel that I did do with the spring cone valve forks. So we come in, we made some adjustment, and basically the adjustment we made was we put some extra pressure in both chambers. What that did was that basically held up the fork a little bit more, which is strange to say because obviously, you know, I'm saying it felt dead and a little bit hard on the top part, but it held up the top part of the stroke. And then, you know, what we did was we opened up the rebound and opened up the compression, and straight away the bike had a totally different feel. And you wouldn't know that they were air forks. They were both the same. It had both the same track feel. Again, it just comes down to setting them up, checking the pressure, making sure everything's all dialed and everything's right. Would I choose them over spring? I believe I would. And the reason is because I couldn't tell the difference once we had them dialed in. But I had the benefits of the lighter front end. Coming into turns, you can really feel, you know, you can really have a push on. And even over the jumps, you know, when you're pushing and moving the bike, as these tracks allow you to do nowadays, and you know, everybody wants to throw the bike sideways or go at an angle on the takeoff of the jump, and that's what it's all about. You know, we ride these bikes to have fun and to feel comfortable, and if you don't feel comfortable, you're certainly not having fun. So overall today, it's been a really beneficial day. You know, I've actually come away with a little bit more knowledge, and to test WP's wide range of products has been awesome, you know, and to actually back them on the day, so you can really see what works for you and what doesn't work for you. And when it comes to suspension, you know, that is what it's all about. You know, sometimes people like to go in one direction, sometimes people like to go into another, you know, and who's to tell them what's right or wrong? You know, you know your own style, and what I'd suggest is that you spend some time with, you know, the people who do know what they're doing, and get comfortable on your bike and go through that process.